You know, the cops, they are humans and they react, you know, in a number of ways. And so what I'm gonna take from, I don't know what Jamar take from you, but possibly it'll be somewhere in the same ballpark, is we noticed you mentioned cool head. And so this morning on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, we will focus on cool heads. Um, Officers, man, they get nervous. Let's just take, for instance, with Jacob Blake. You know, he was, that cop was nervous, man. He was in a heated situation. He had people all around him screaming, calling them names, probably calling him this and that. Um, and they're humans. They take offense to things. They get a little angry. They get a little nervous.
Absolutely.
They got phones recording them and different things, and people screaming at them and stuff, talking about how no good they are when all they trying to do is help society. And so, they naturally react because of, those moments. And so I think, folks, we all need to have some cool heads, man. It's too many guys we know out in the streets. It's too many brothers I know. Come on, y'all. It's too many brothers we know within Chirac, within Indianapolis, within East Indiana, South suburbs, that literally have died because they don't have cool heads. In those moments, they, hostile. And our culture sometimes, it teaches us to not be excuse my French here, it teaches us to not be it teaches us to not be a coward. It teaches us to be a man, stand up, never let nobody step on your shoe, never let nobody push you around. Because if that's done, you lose respect, or you a chump, or you this or you that. And really, man, sadly enough, that's the reason why a lot of our brothers are dying the way they're dying.
Absolutely,
they're dying really strictly from straight bullets. They're dying from gun warfare. They're dying from stupid stuff. And yes, it's stupid as hell to where if somebody step on your shoe, to where if somebody, do this or do that, things get hostile. And in a matter of minutes, your life is lost. In a matter of minutes, shots is fired. In a matter of minutes, bottles is being thrown, or people, out here acting like asses and donkeys, all because of, a few words exchanged. Lives are changed literally within 2 to 3 minutes. Futures, babies' futures, kids losing their dads within a matter of 2 to 3 minutes because of not having cool heads. Y'all think the cops don't notice that too? Y'all don't think the cops sit there and they every day, all day dealing with people with uncool heads, people with hostile interactions, people with angry interactions, people with aggressiveness? They got to respond too. It's just like you being a product in your environment. You're going to do what the environment that you're around is doing. You're going to react to the environment that your environment is like. And so if you don't have a cool head, then the cops, they ain't going to have a cool head. But the thing is, with the cops, they got the law behind their back. So they don't got to be cool because they got the power.
And that's real,
because they're the cops. And so I highly advise folks, yes, when you interact with the cop, man, you better have a cool head, because sometimes, man, you won't have a head. If y'all know what I mean, if you tick off a cop the wrong, and they don't have a cool head. And so practice those protocols, man, like, speak calmly, yes, sir, no, sir. I proudly, yes, sir, no, sir. Do you need anything from me? I put my hand on that steering wheel, and I am very, very nice. I am not anything hostile to tick those guys off in any type of way at all, to trigger anything, because if so, that could very well be a very, very big issue for me. And so from a cop's perspective, if we had more cool heads, if we swallowed our pride, bro, if we swallowed that pride, and in seminary, we call it embedded theologies. An embedded theology, Deshaun and Jamar, is when you are raised with something and you've been raised that way your whole life. and you don't know nothing but that because Black folk, we need to get rid of this embedded theology of always, having to be tough, always having to not look like a chump, always having to worry about, what's this person gonna think or that person gonna think if I don't interact or do this or do that. If people instigate, let them instigate. I know y'all grew up as shorties and a person instigates something and off of that instigation, y'all end up fighting just because, and so we can kind of let go of some of those traditions we've been raised with. I think our community and our people would be a whole lot better, man. So Deshaun, we appreciate that. Just curious, Shamar, you got any thoughts, anything?
I mean, honestly, I feel like both of you all, like, just, laid it out there to where I don't really have to say too much. I know that's something we've talked about time and time again, different perspectives or whatnot. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, the ones that's, behind the badge, you just have to, be cool, have a cool head, be fair, just don't put us in tough situations, because this little guy I have over here running around doing who knows what at the moment. It's like, I don't want to like go out for work, come home. No, more so go out for work and not come home because of some, reckless or something that I can't even control.
Right.
That's my fear. Like, can't even come home to my kids when I'm just like going around the corner to the store to go pick up milk or something, just something simple that can just escalate things. So I was like, every time I'm out there, I'm just like, I have a slight paranoia, but it is what it is. I'm just hoping things can change sooner than later.
Right. Man, I mean, that's real, like simple. And sometimes interactions, it might be difficult for some people, but really in reality, those interactions should be simple. And guess what? If they are simple, you keep them simple, period. All right. And so with that being said, fellas, we have now talked about, the issues of society. And so hopefully, and then they can, get some insight on that. And so, yeah, let's now begin with some NBA talk. Let's get into some sports. And so in this case, we already, Deshaun, know your Eastern Conference and Western Conference picks.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You are picking the Boston Celtics, or you picked the Boston Celtics to win the Eastern Conference and the LA Lakers, right, to come out of the West.
Absolutely.
Yes. You sound like a smart man. Yes. All right. And so, however, just curious, Deshaun, and now Jamar, you possibly can laugh at us today because our Eastern Conference pick, the Boston Celtics, they appear to be in trouble against this phenomenal Miami Heat basketball team, whom are just taking their hearts out of their chest pretty much. And so just curious, man, are you confident in that pick still? And do you think, think possibly Miami, if they can get past the Celtics, that they can win it all?
Well, am I still confident? No, confidence has been shaken, but I'm the type of guy that likes to hold true to what he said. I don't like retract whatever I said. So I'm still rocking with the Boston Celtics. I'm still rocking with the LA Lakers. So, man, you got to tip your hat to what Jimmy Butler has done with this Miami team. They went from a pretender to just straight contender right before our eyes, man. And you got to pay attention. Everywhere that Jimmy Butler has gone, he has taken them to the finals. He has made a team better. And he's just that caliber of a player. They got some guys who's doing some really good things. And Bam Adebayo, I mean, these they're just flat out playing ball. They're just flat out playing basketball right now. They are hooping. So,
yeah, man. And on top of that, the Celtics, they defend. I mean, sorry, the Celtics defend, but we talking that zone. Jamar, did you see that zone they put on them guys in the second half?
Man, I was not.
Oh my God,
that was wow.
when you talk about a team got the clucks put on them, like they got the clucks put on them. Like they could not do nothing. Like they literally, it reminds you of like being in a rec league and then like the really good team, they just start locking up a bunch of old guys who really can't move. And then they just gotta eventually they'll get blown out in a rec league game, but this the NBA, so the Celtics wouldn't get blown out to shoot threes because that was really the only option available for them to shoot because they couldn't get past that zone. The zone was just, it was ferocious. It was ferocious. And, on top of that zone, the Celtics came back, man, they showed the heart, but Jimmy Butler eventually showed the ultimate heart. Did y'all see those defensive plays he made, man?
Man.
Yes.
Man.
Make me kind of miss him, man. Make me kind of miss him.
and I was gonna ask you guys that, man. I know that you guys are both diehard Bulls fans, and seeing Jimmy Butler do the things that he's done, with his Miami team, it's like I know you're kind of missing him. Like the little meme with like the Wolverine, and he's there looking at like the picture. Yeah, so I'm, he's holding a picture of Jimmy Butler, wondering what was for like the Chicago Bulls. So
man, let me jump up in here. So all right. So I'm just gonna say this, and then I'm gonna get into Jimmy. Like as far as the Heat, like I've been saying, like they don't really have any weaknesses. They do everything extremely well. Maybe not everything to an elite level, but they just do everything extremely, extremely well. Yes. And it's like they have, like everybody knows their roles, everybody knows what they're supposed to do. Like Goran Dragic, it's like, he'll take over the scoring for the most part. And then as you see, I don't know if y'all paid attention, but like during crunch time, the last like 5 minutes or in the fourth quarter, you see Jimmy Butler bringing up the ball. Jimmy Butler initiating the offense. Jimmy Butler, picking apart the defense, picking his moments to attack. For whatever, it's like everything is surgical and strategic with them. And then, like you said, with the zone, like that came out of nowhere. But like Eric Spoelstra, like this dude, I feel like he really don't get the credit he deserves. Because like he is definitely playing chess out there. And I know Brad Stevens is a phenomenal coach, but I
he's
feel like
our coach right now.
Yes, and like I said, I feel like he does not get the credit he deserves. Now, as far as Jimmy Butler, as a Bulls fan and watching him succeed, it's like I'm rooting for the guy. It's like I want him to pull all this off because I know that when he was here, like the media made it out to see like he was the bad guy this whole time, but in reality, he just wanted to have dogs to fight with him. The front office and management and ownership was not dogs. And the players he brought in, besides Wade and Rondo, who we know are dogs, but, they can only do so much. Everybody else wasn't. So when he got to Minnesota, that whole that whole situation in that practice, taking with the third string team and starters and, doing stuff with Cat's girlfriend and all this other stuff. Basically, they were dogs. They were definitely puppies up there. And of course, the media gave him a bad rap again. So he ended up with the Sixers. And the Sixers, with Jimmy, they had the best team that they had in over a decade.
Yes.
They were a miracle shot away from, getting to the conference finals that year. And so
not only I feel like Jamar getting to the conference finals, I felt that they would have got past the Raptors. They would have got out of the East, certainly. They would have got past the Bucks. They would have built the wall, and then the same thing would have happened. Whoever would have won that Raptors Sixers series was going to beat the Bucks last year. And so getting to the finals, I think they would have had a very legit chance to win the finals with or without Kevin Durant. That Sixers team, with or without Kevin Durant.
That sounds about right.
Gave fits that year.
Yes.
So I agree with you. So it's like Jimmy's on his fourth team, and it's like 4 years with his fourth team, and now people are realizing that he is actually, this premier star that the media tried to say otherwise, and it's because he's in the perfect culture, the perfect situation. He's with a bunch of dogs in a doggy culture. I love it. I wish nothing for the best with him there. I wish he was still a Bull, but I'm happy where he's at right now.
Yeah, man, I hear you, man. Shout outs to Jimmy Butler because whether we know it or not, we had gold here in Chicago with Jimmy Butler. I even look at the 2017 team that lost to the Celtics in that first round.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
we had him on
if
the
they,
ropes too.
yeah, the Bulls, Jimmy Butler was a dog, D Rose was a dog. Joakim Noah was a dog, but Taj Gibson was a dog. But the thing was, the management was puppies. John Paxson and all those guys, oftentimes they want to bring in real superstars and things in that nature because of money or whatever reasons, not wanting to go over salary cap, just silly stuff that don't produce championships. And so Pat Riley don't have a problem doing that. Pat Riley don't have a problem doing whatever it takes to win a championship. And that guy, again, I mean, what a career he has had. That guy, again, of producing a team full of pit bulls to be a legit threat if they were to get to the finals. And right now, they are looking like a very much serious title threat if they were to face, yes, in my opinion, the Lakers. If they were to face the Lakers in the finals, boy, would that be a series.
Oh my gosh.
Would that be a series? The Heat don't like nothing, man. They got them white boys shooting. They got, Olenek shooting. They got Duncan Robinson. Those boys, they going to be 3-point champions very soon. Tyler Hero.
Man,
love him.
really
love him.
Jay Crowder, man, defends, but he can pop that thing too from the three. Bam Adebayo, he's becoming a superstar. And that block in game one, I mean,
bro,
to me, the second best, and the second best block in NBA history that I've ever seen, besides LeBron's block in game 7 of the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
And some people say that it's better.
What about the was it like Tayshaun Prince had like a chase down block?
That was a great one too, man. That was
Okay.
3. That's number 3. That is
Okay.
number 3 for me, man. That Tayshaun Prince
that changed the whole dynamic of the Pacers.
It really did.
Yes,
man.
it did, man. And we gonna remember that because we went to Purdue and Indiana was the stuff at that time, man. They had the number 1 seed. Detroit was the number 3 seed. Ain't nobody really expect Detroit to, come up and creep up on them. But and that year they won that championship. And so that was a phenomenal block too, man. Those 3 blocks are some of the more memorable blocks I've ever seen. Especially in postseason history. I remember those 3, man. Like
never forget it. Never forget.
It's hard to forget it, man. And so Jason Tatum, man. One thing I gotta say, y'all, before we move on from this is with the Celtics, and I've mentioned this to you, Jamar. I feel like with the Celtics, they got growing up to do. Like they often beat themselves. Jason Tatum, you got to pass the ball more, bro. You can't be out there hogging, trying to be the superstar, trying to be the guy to get all the credit for the team. In those moments, y'all got to call better offensive plays to where y'all distribute and pass the freaking ball. Oftentimes, if y'all notice, they give Jason Tatum the ball in those big moments, and they just let him do his thing and try to score. And all that boy do is brick. All he do is go into a little corner and the Heat trap him and they lock him up and it just turns into a bad offensive possession. Whereas the Heat, they go down and they still move the ball, or they give it to Jimmy Butler and he can find and surgically maneuver his way through the defense to get an easy shot. Jason Tatum can't do that against that Miami Heat defense. It's too great. And so, like, y'all got to call better offensive plays because tonight is a pivotal game for y'all. If y'all don't win this game, then Charles Barkley might be pulling out the brooms.
I think that is something that we would see. I even saw I'm not sure if it's like true or not, but Marcus Smart like just ripped the whole locker room apart, and that's something that I love to see. He just said they are basically on BS. Those were like in quotations. Marcus Smart says that, this whole locker room, we on BS. They are a very talented team, and like you said, Brandon, I do believe that they are, they're showing their inexperience. They're showing their youth in the series right here.
Yep.
Jimmy Butler ain't having it, man. He is an alpha. He's an alpha, and we are truly yet to see whether Jason Tatum will be that alpha or not. I mean, granted, they have other players up on the team, like Smart, like who I've said, like Jaylen Brown, like Kemba Walker, but like those guys are gonna have to come together, man, and get it done. Like you said, if this game does not turn around tonight, they are finished. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
They are totally finished, and so they have to be on their P's and Q's. Jamar, just curious, man. Any thoughts as I tag some people on Facebook?
As far as tonight's game?
Yes, sir. Who do you got?
Man, I'm going with the hungrier, more composed team. I mean, I haven't seen, like, they've been consistent the whole.
Look, Deshaun, he like, I wasn't riding with the Celtics anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I got cooked last weekend, so Heat Nation one time. Let's go.
Well, man, I don't know where if y'all can really see me right now. That's because I'm doing something on my computer. But with that being said, let's quickly get into the next topic, which is the Lakers. And so, Jamar, can you start us off with your thoughts for the Lakers Nuggets and that beatdown last night?
And I mean, honestly, my question is, like, are you surprised? I mean, I wasn't.
No. No.
Because I mean, this goes back to the previous series, to how the Nuggets got here, and I feel like the best team that had the best chance to even give this Lakers team competition got knocked out for reasons we're gonna get into in a second. But I mean, I felt like it was Jokic going against a bunch of bullies down there.
Bingo, man.
3 7-footers. Like, what are you gonna do? And it's like somebody said, like, I was reading on Facebook, like, put out a Bobo, like, he gonna get tossed around like a rag dog. Like, no, this series could definitely end quickly, because unlike the Clippers, the Lakers not playing any games right now. They gonna finish them off quickly unless the Nuggets have a offensive explosion from other players besides Murray and Jokic. So it's going to take a lot of heart and precision here and execution for the Nuggets to stay in this series. Otherwise, I don't see it going far at all. That's my personal opinion.
Deshaun?
Man, he hit the nail right on the head for me. It's a couple of players who were extremely excited that Clippers didn't make it very far were Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. Like, they were licking their chops to play against Jokic. Jokic, great player, man. Not taking anything away from him. He has been phenomenal in the bubble. He's been phenomenal in the postseason. But he just got out-muscled. I mean, like, just the physicality of Dwight Howard, just, how JaVale McGee's length, it really bothers him. And I think that's one of the things that Jokic is going to have to strengthen up on, man. He's going to have to hit those weights, man, because, man, like, they went at him yesterday and they were ready to play. Now, last series, we didn't see too much of those two centers because, the Rockets like to play small ball. So they were fresh. They were ready to go, man. They were out for blood. They was looking like piranhas out there yesterday. So
yes, sir, they were. Yes, sir, they were. And y'all know what? For me, man, when I look at it last night, like y'all say, this was definitely a moment where the Nuggets like start to realize like stuff just got real. Like stuff we thought we had some with the Clippers, but stuff literally just got real, because Jokic getting pushed around, literally getting pushed around. They talking stuff to him, letting them know, and one bucket in your face, and we pushing you around. Kyler Murray, man, he another cat. He need to get in the weight room. I don't know if y'all noticed LeBron literally running right through him, getting and ones, bumping him and and getting and ones just off of strength. Craig, guys like that, man, they're gonna have to really step up for the Nuggets. This guy Greg, Jeremy Grant, which is the nephew of Horace Grant, like. Those guys got to step up and hit their shots. But me and you, Jamar, Deshaun, we know they don't hit their shots. They didn't hit those shots in either series. What got the Nuggets there was their 2 stars, period. Those other guys maybe just defended a little bit and took fouls and things of that nature, but they don't score a lot. They're not really bucket getters. It's going to take a miraculous, moment from like Michael Porter. It's going to take those guys to hit their shots, and it's going to take the superstars to be superstars. And in other words, y'all, they're going to have to grow up fast, just like the Celtics. The Nuggets and the Celtics, they both got to grow up really fast because Jimmy Butler is very experienced. He's been in the playoffs with the Bulls so many years. He's been battle tested with the Sixers, even went to the playoffs with the Timberwolves. And went to a 6-game series with the Warriors, if y'all don't remember, with that Timberwolves team. It was the same with the Lakers. I mean, LeBron James, y'all, NBA Finals 10 times. Literally 10 times would be his this would be his moment to go to the finals 10 times if he was to go, which is amazing. And then on top of that, you throw the fact of him being in the conference finals. This is his 11th time. And so he is highly experienced. He is out there playing chess. He is out there pretty much playing with kids. They're kids to him. They are. No, seriously, they are. They're kids. And that's how the Nuggets going to have to play, y'all. They're going to have to play like it is house money. We ain't got a damn thing to lose. Let's just throw up shots. Let's do things in that nature. Hoop. We just gonna have to hoop like the playgrounds. They're gonna have to hoop like the playgrounds and see if they can take the Lakers' heart. So I think we all can expect, y'all, game 2, the Nuggets will come out. We know that. They will come out. They will try to send a message, as they did in all 3 series. They will try to send a message in this game 2. And in game 3, they will come out firing in both cases. If the Lakers want to finish this Nuggets team quick, they're going to have to do what they did in game 2. In game 3, run a fast break. Shout out to playoff Rondo. He is killing it. When the playoffs come, Rondo is a different animal. He's a different beast. Man, just leading the fast breaks. He makes LeBron James' job so easy because he ain't got to bring the ball up the court. He can distribute creative, crafty passes, and he can score. Plus, he defends. And so that leads to LeBron and those guys just having to make buckets. So,
Man,
Nuggets, they're going to have
I got a quick question.
Go ahead.
Man, why is playoff Rondo like the complete 180 of playoff? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. That man turned into pathetic P, COVID-13, everything else you could think of.
Deshaun, can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. My internet connection was a little unstable. But go ahead, Jamal. What was your question again?
I said, why is playoff Rondo like a complete 180 from playoff P?
Because playoff P, man, for me, playoff P, really, I think he's an overrated basketball player. For me, really, y'all, the one big moment that I can remember for Paul George that made him a superstar was when he was with the Pacers. Of course, we're watching that series, and we're looking at him take LeBron in the Heat 7 games in 2012, and the following year, 6 games. And 2013 to 2014, 2012, they had to get past the Celtics.
Right.
In 7 games. But, that's really was the biggest moment for playoff, or for pathetic P is what they're calling him now. It's pathetic P. And so, George, pathetic P, because when the playoffs come, he's pathetic. and he was pathetic against the Clippers. He was pathetic. Oh, sorry, he was pathetic against the Nuggets, and he was pathetic against the Mavericks. Both series, just really bad, man. I mean, Game 7, man, he shot the ball off the backboard. Y'all didn't see that shot?
Man, horrible.
Yeah, man. I don't know if he was just tired or what, but he looked really bad out there. So, with that being said, man, just let's talk about that collapse. Was this a collapse, y'all, or was the Nuggets really the better team, or was this a collapse? And I'll start this off because I got a lot to say here. Okay, with the Los Angeles Clippers, number one, they looked too far ahead. They got way too comfortable, looked too far ahead to play the Lakers. They've been looking at it since last summer. Everybody and their mama been waiting and clamoring for this Lakers-Clippers series, waiting to see who will be the king of the NBA between LeBron and Kawhi, waiting to see who will be the king of LA between LeBron and Kawhi, waiting to see who will be the first to possibly win 3 championships with 3 different teams between LeBron and Kawhi. So everybody was waiting on that. I mean, that was going to be like the epic Tyson Holyfield, the epic battle everybody was waiting for. But unfortunately, Kawhi Leonard, he burnt out. And I think he still has ice cold blood in his veins. I think he's still a phenomenal ball player. Nothing really for me changes for Kawhi, except either he possibly made a mistake and should have stayed in Toronto, and it probably would have been nice to see Toronto and LA in the finals, the Lakers, and then that would have settled it. That would have been great. Or, Paul George show up. And so he didn't show up. Lou Williams did not show up. Lou Williams went to the strip club in Atlanta, got his wings at King of Diamonds, had him a good time after the funeral. And after he came back, he wasn't the same. Maybe, I don't know, the strippers that he fell in love with or something, maybe they was bothering him. I don't know, man. But once he got to the bubble, it was not the same. He was not the same Lou Williams that we thought he was going to be. Markieff Morris, he stepped up. Or is that Marcus? One of the Morris brothers. I get the names mixed up. He stepped up. Patrick Beverly, man, he out there acting a damn fool as usual. Want to bump into people falling on the floor. Ain't scoring no buckets, just putting a lot of antics out there. I hope the Clippers keep him. I really do. The Clippers got a great roster. I think they should just run it back one more time. Some people say that the Clippers are, it kind of reminds you of the 2011 Heat. The first season, they kind of need to get their legs under and play with each other. They only played 37 games with each other prior to the bubble. So a lot of people say that was an issue then. But I just felt that the Clippers were definitely going to lose to the Lakers in the conference finals if they were to meet. I wouldn't pick in the Clippers for the world. I just felt like the biggest issue with the Clippers, y'all, was they got lackadaisical. They really stopped taking teams serious, and they got a little too comfortable, a little too big-headed, and it caught up and bit them in the you-know-what. And that's what happened with the Clippers. The Clippers, there's no way in really hell they should have lost to the Nuggets. They should have beat the Nuggets. They should have beat them. But they got really lackadaisical, really comfortable, playing around, joking around, snoozing around, goofing around, and so hopefully that's a lesson learned, because that's one less ring you could have got, Clippers possibly, with all that freaking talent y'all got. From top to freaking bottom. That matchup with the Lakers would have been tough for LeBron and AD. All those bodies they would have thrown at LeBron and AD. Oh, man. Yeah, and it would have just been an epic matchup. But I would have picked the king to be the king. But it just would have been the matchup everybody wanted to see. And it should have been a matchup everybody wanted to see. Y'all shouldn't have lost to the Nuggets. And now the Nuggets will make the Lakers will make the Nuggets look like what y'all should have made them look like, pretty much. And so, Deshaun, let's begin with you, brother, and just get your thoughts on this epic collapse. Because for me, man, it was an epic collapse.
Man, I think you threw the term lackadaisical around, and that, man, I'm like, let's stick with that, man. They just look flat out just like tired out there. Like they just got done running a track meet, and they just had like a game right after. I don't know what transpired in those last couple of games. They just got too comfortable. They got complacent. They're like, oh man, we got this 3-1 lead. Let's let up. Nah, man, you got to put your foot on their throats. You got to keep your feet on the gas, man. Get it and get it done. And you also said that they were looking toward the future way too much, which they were. They definitely underestimated a very talented and young Nuggets team. Jamal Murray did his thing. Jokic was Jokic. He looked amazing. Both those guys, they just had more will overall. Like just the will to win was just there. It was tremendous. It's going to be something that I'm not going to never forget, considering that we all wanted that LA matchup. That's what we wanted. We wanted that hometown rivalry, in-town rivalry there. So, shout outs to the Nuggets for turning us all into believers. They got a couple of guys that are turning into superstars right before our eyes. And you know what? Kawhi and Paul George, for them to have that miraculous defense, like where was that at? Like where that wasn't on display.
It was not on display.
No, it was not. If you guys are gonna call yourselves, just these defensive like stoppers, show us. What stage bigger to show it on than this one right here. So and again, like you said, man, like all your points were great, by the way. So Kawhi doesn't have in my opinion, he has nothing left to prove. This guy won the championship in both conferences. Okay. He won MVP in both conferences. So even if he were to never win another championship, his legacy, in my opinion, is cemented. But Playoff P or COVID 13, whatever you guys want to call him, whatever name you want to give him, I think he deserves all the flack that he's been getting. He's supposed to be that secondary component to make this LA team great, and he just hasn't been that.
He has not been that, man. And just want to quickly hint Jamar before you go ahead and begin. But you mentioned that the Clippers were lackadaisical and things of that nature, and they were, and it came back to certainly bite them in the butt. And lackadaisical, I want to bring this up because Victor Young, what's up, Victor? Definitely, friends with Jamar, Deshaun, they got that fella circle there. And Victor Young, he regularly tuned in to the podcast, but he brought up a really good point, y'all. He mentioned Reggie Jackson. He's saying that he should have played him a little bit more. And I'm sitting here thinking like, yes, he could have totally put an extra. I mean, they got bodies on that bench. All those bodies on that bench, they should be able to match with anybody perimeter-wise. And so the one difference in this series, however, and maybe Jamar hit on this, was really they had no answer for Joker. They had no answer for the Jokic. And when he, got out to that three-point line, pretty much those big 7'5" arms, banger. He just scores. He scores in so many ways. But even amongst that, like Victor Young said, if you stop Kyler Murray, if one of those guys get off and you just limit one of them, the Nuggets ain't winning. They're not beating the Clippers or the Lakers if you limit just one of those guys. And quite frankly, if you do that, you'll blow them out and make them look like the kids that they really are who need to grow up. They're kids right now. But I'm not going to count the Nuggets out because as we've learned, Jamar, right? As we've learned, every time we count the Nuggets out, they come back and they surprise us. So I'm not going to completely underestimate the Nuggets in this series. I'm going to give them the respect they deserve.
Resilient.
I'm going to give them the resiliency they deserve. And we're not going to completely count them out. But Jamar, go ahead, bro.
All right, so I'm gonna start off by starting with the main superstar on the team, Kawhi. Personally, I gave him a pass. Like, I know he had an awful game 7, but I feel like he's definitely been the most consistent one on the team and has the background and the accolades to prove, why he, is the clause. So I'm gonna leave him alone. Let's go with Pandemic 13 here. So, dude,
that's a new name.
I mean, you can call him whatever. I mean, it's bad. And like Deshaun said, I mean, he's all the slack that he's getting is well deserved. So yeah, no, he was brought in. Like Kawhi facilitated this whole Clippers roster, really, like to have Paul George there, and he basically said, like, "Hey, I want you. I think we could do something here." Paul was like, "All right, what I got to do? Go force the way out." And like Paul was like, "All right." So Clippers sent like 5-6 first-round picks, basically the whole house to get this guy, right?
Yep.
And so, they only played 37 games together, whatever. So then, the Dallas series comes around, and Paul George has a phenomenal game one. Like, okay, I see what we're about to do here. Games 2, 3, and 4. What was that stat? I think he shot a total of 25% from the field, and it was something else that was very alarming. He just said, I felt a little depressed. Like, I'm not gonna play with anybody with depression. If that's the case, that's the case. And whatever.
Yeah, he mentioned that in the media. I'm depressed and this and that, whatever.
Yes, I'm like, okay. If you are, like I said, mental health is a real thing if that is really the case. But all right, so they finally get past Dallas. Took them a little longer than I thought they should, but they got past them. So Nuggets team, a 3-1, and I heard here's what I heard. Like, I guess like right around halftime, Morris told Paul Millsap when it was up 56-40, like, get ready to pack your and get the out. We about to send you home or something like that, something of the sort. Ever since that moment, Nuggets was like, all right, we apparently they already like mindset way ahead, and Nuggets like, no, we gonna show y'all something.
And so Jamar, that was game 5 when Paul Millsap led that run for them to win that game. Remember?
Yep, exactly, bingo. So yeah, so Clippers definitely looking ahead. Paul George was nowhere to be found. He kept making excuses after excuses from the media, like after every loss in that series. He's not real. He's not real. He hasn't been real since that playoff series against the Heat when he was with Indiana. Demon himself playoff P when he first got to OKC. Him and Russ was out there just doing the thing, and then Dame Lillard just
Dame Lillard him game winners in their face, waving bye-bye to him.
Yep, and blew up the whole OKC franchise. Yep. And got this man as a really good journeyman out here now. I don't know, like Pandemic 13, he's not the real deal. And then the next thing I want to get to is Doc Rivers, like, bro, like
it's his job safe, y'all. It's his job safe.
No, I don't think so. Like, look, you brought in all the, like, you have every component to be a real contender here, like across the board. It's no excuse for you to get put out by a young up-and-coming team. Not even a team that's in their prime yet. And
y'all excuse Jamar right now. Jamar's on a rant right now, so y'all just tune in.
There's no excuse at all. And I think my son want to jump in here too. But anyway, like, no, it's no excuse for this. Like, Doc, like, I don't care what. I don't care, like, dude, like, you have championship, DNA, you got it done in Boston. But ever since then, like all your teams are underachieved. I think he had what? I think if I'm not mistaken, 3 times in his coaching career, he blew a 3-1 lead. Like, like this.
Yep, I remember with the Magic and twice with the Clippers.
Yep.
With T-Mac back in the day, and
and they played the Rockets. They had the Rockets down, had their number with Blake Griffin and them. Didn't get it done, and now this one. So, like, there's no excuse, man. If you lose your job, then so be it, man. Like, you don't have any more outs. And then just lastly, going to the bench here, Harold looked like a pedestrian against the Joker, period.
Yep.
And now I think he's a free agent. He better not ask for a $100 million contract. They're going to look at him like he's crazy. And Lou Will, he wasn't Lou Will. And the answer to Reggie Jackson comment by Vic, Like he probably, I think Reggie Jackson didn't really see the court anymore after what's his name?
Well,
Luka
after
did that
Doncic,
back
yeah,
to
after Doncic
cooked
tied
him.
him in game 4, yeah.
Yeah, that was the last time I saw Reggie Jackson on the court. So yeah, that just Kawhi, you the only one that gets a free pass from me. Everybody else, y'all cook. Some got to give. So
Yeah, man, and it's sad because I think maybe y'all agree. I don't want to see Doc lose his job, man. I want to see a brother lead that great franchise, and I love to see a brother, win that championship. Because the last brother that won was Ty Lue with the Cavs, and so
I would love to see it too, but it's like, bro, like you've been here this long, you're supposed to change the franchise. I mean, you went through ownership changes, and I know you got like Steve Ballmer behind backing you up, and you got this great roster. Jerry West is there, but this is unexcusable. So I don't.
I'm with you, Jamar. It definitely is unacceptable. Just man, like up on so many levels, bro. Like you know what? Like I'm a piggyback off what you said, Brandon. I do want to see Doc Rivers do well. I do want to see him become one of those great coaches. But when you have every single thing working for you in your favor and you still can't deliver, it's an issue. You have the players, you have the bench, you have like the up court front people,
the front office,
yeah.
You got
man,
everything.
it's great. Everything is phenomenal, and you still can't get it done. Like Doc Rivers, it's time to look inside the mirror, man.
Right, it really is. Yep, because I think the lackadaisicalness, y'all, that came with the Clippers, we can maybe put 2 and 2 together. That a lot of that maybe came from from Doc Rivers.
He called him Black Rivers. No,
that's
fine.
Black Rivers.
That's fine.
I'm
okay with Black Rivers.
Oh man, I called him Black Rivers.
Oh man,
yeah.
I love it, Black Rivers.
Maybe that's the new nickname for Doc Rivers, man.
Hey, that needs to go viral, bro.
Man,
Rivers.
Look, Lack Rivers, man. I'm sticking with it. Lack Rivers, man. I think Lack Rivers was part of that whole lacking culture. He was making those guys lack off, doze off, get too comfortable, pumping their head up. For real, pumping their head up, making them big-headed, and making them think like, yeah, man, we going to see the Lakers. Y'all just, keep doing it, keep running, keep doing this. But he stopped coaching at a certain point. He stopped coaching really after game 4. And he just basically relied on history. And when I say history, y'all, or maybe analytics or whatever, that basically stated Kawhi done this plenty of times. He is going to finish these guys out. And pretty much everybody in the world was thinking the same thing. And as a result, he just got lackadaisical, comfortable, stopped coaching, stopped being hard, stopped making substitutions, never put a Reggie Jackson in, never really put, Zubac in key moments. He should have maybe played Zubac a little bit more, but I guess he felt Harrell and JaMychal Green would be able to match up with Joker a little bit more. But those guys couldn't match up with Joker. And that was really the difference in this series in these last few games. And my thing is this, y'all, this last thing. How the hell y'all going to be top defenders, okay? Jamar, how they going to be top defenders, bro, and in Game 7 give up 40 points to Jamal Murray?
And that's a point I forgot to mention. I don't understand why Kawhi wasn't guarding Murray at all. Like, I feel like I don't understand that. I don't know if that was like Kawhi wanted to and Doc was like, no, or Kawhi didn't say anything and Doc, I don't know. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I mean, in the past, like when LeBron in his prime, like he would guard D Rose in that conference finals when it came down to it. The best player would put the clamps, would defend the best.
And LeBron still does that for the Lakers. You best believe if Jamal Murray and the Joker going off, LeBron gonna check Murray. He gonna check him.
As he should.
Period. And I don't know why Kawhi don't do that. Remember, y'all, we mentioned that with the Clippers after what's the kid? After Doncic hit the game-winning Game 4. I was saying it pretty much like by myself. Like, I don't know why they didn't let Kawhi guard the Joker. I mean, sorry, not the Joker, but Doncic on that last play. They should have let him guard him. And I strongly felt that if he would have guarded him, he wouldn't have got that shot off. And who knows what rest they could have got for the Clippers if they would have finished them in 5 games. I'm just saying. But, like, whatever. The Clippers choked. It was an epic collapse. Hopefully this is a lesson learned. They need some humble pie, and they got it for sure. And in order to fix things, I think y'all, the Clippers, they just need to be more hungrier. They maybe need a little more chemistry. I'm not giving up on this roster, y'all. And I'm not giving up on Doc Rivers either. I like their roster. I really do. I don't know what piece they really need, y'all, outside of maybe another big man or something. Outside of but they got big men. They got everything. I can't name a weakness here. I can't.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
I can't name a weakness here. So I don't know, man. I think maybe you just keep those guys together and run it back one more time. What y'all think?
I think so. And like the crazy thing about it is it was people that was calling for Mike Malone's job. But now I really do think it is Doc Rivers, the one that should be in like the hot seat right now. I say you give it one more year, like you guys both said that they only had maybe 30 something odd games to play together. Run it back 1 year, one full season. If they can't get it done, then again, like that team needs to be blown up.
I guess by default, I guess you got to give them one more year, simply on the fact that I think Kawhi and George got they signed 2-year deals or so, so they need a second year. So I mean, by default, I guess you got to give it one more go. But something got to change as far as mentality is concerned. Like that's for sure.
Right. Well, all right, fellas. In that case, y'all, we done covered the NFL. We done covered the NBA. I am just all over the place mentioning stuff wrong this morning. Let me relax myself. All right. So now let's get into some football. And so let's quickly, y'all. I just want y'all thoughts for the Big Ten agreeing to go ahead and get their season going back again on October 23rd. In the past, I've stated I wasn't for it. And so I'm just curious, y'all, quickly, what are y'all thoughts? So Deshaun, just curious, man, did the Big Ten get it right?
I think the Big Ten got it right. Big Ten is one of those conferences that we do want to see play, but at the same time, we want these kids out here safe. We want them out here abiding by all these COVID rules and everything that they have in place. And it seems, in my opinion, like they got a really good thing going on here. I saw players like Trevor Lawrence reaching out, and even well before this started, like everyone wants to play. Some of these guys have their futures to think about, and some even express that and school is probably one of the more safer places to be. I'm glad that the Big Ten will be there. They got a lot of talent at these schools. They generate a lot of TV views. So I kind of understand why they were pushing toward it. I'm all for it as long as they can keep those guys safe. Do everything by the book. So we won't see this thing spread or get out of control. I'm all for it. I really like Ohio State and Wisconsin, like football teams like that. Like I'm really excited to see those guys back.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah. And so, Jamar, man, did the Big Ten get it right?
I mean, like you, I've been on record saying in general, they shouldn't be playing at all. I mean, but I don't know. I don't know. I just, I don't want, the kids' futures, the ones that has a shot for the NFL to be, in jeopardy because of stuff going on at the same time. Like you said, Deshaun, want everybody to be safe. So, I mean, I look at it like this. I mean, so far, so good as far as, I guess, the sport and football in general between college and NFL has, I guess, been fine for now. So, I guess, man.
I'm with y'all, fellas. I've changed my mind. I think the Big Ten got it right. I'm agreeing with y'all. Like, nothing's happened thus far. Keep it going. You don't want to jeopardize those kids' future. Let them get a
Absolutely.
shot to go pro. Also, I think it's sort of like if your five brothers or your five siblings, sorry, they jump into a fight. As a sibling, sometimes you might just have to jump into the fight too.
Automatically.
Um, and so y'all know how that is. And so with that being said, I'm talking about the SEC, the Big 12, the ACC, even the Pac-12 approved theirs recently. And so if they've jumped in, it's like the Big 10 kind of got to jump in. And so with everybody approving their season and preparing for the college football playoff, um, it wouldn't be a college football playoff without the Big Ten. It just wouldn't. I would hate
Bingo.
the college football playoff without seeing Ohio State. I would hate the college football playoff without seeing the Purdue Boilermakers. Y'all didn't get that, huh? Yeah, y'all was totally supposed to laugh here, man.
Look,
Because
man.
I just said the Purdue. See, that's the reason why they was canceling the season, Jamal. They knew that Purdue was gonna be dominant this year. This was our year, man. They knew it, and so they're like, you know what, we're gonna cancel this season because Purdue is just gonna be out here dominating. They got one of the best receivers in the country, so they just gonna be out here schooling people. We can't have that. No, no, no. Let's just push. Yeah, and so yeah. But anywho, man, like what playoff would it be without Purdue? And so y'all better watch out for Purdue, man. We will go 2-0 this season. We will not lose our first game as we always do to MAC teams. And we will have a great run. I'm joking. I promise they won't have a good run. And so yeah, but it just wouldn't be a college football playoff, man, without Ohio State. It wouldn't be a possibility of Michigan. So college football is not college football, y'all, without Michigan and Ohio State.
Absolutely.
College football is not football without, for me, as being an Illinois guy, Purdue versus Illinois or Purdue versus Northwestern or Illinois versus Northwestern at Wrigley Field. Like, you like to see those games, man. You like to see Indiana with their offense always scoring the ball, never no defense, but they score with offense. The Hoosiers. So, like, Badgers with their running game. And pounded and always getting first round picks at the lineman and running back positions. And they got a great running back again this year. So like Big Ten, I mean, it's good to see. And so, yes, with that being said, y'all, that was our burning question for college football. But let's now get into the NFL. And so, y'all, let's talk some Mitchell Trubisky. And as y'all know, I usually get very emotional when we talk about the Bears because a lot of things just come to my mind. I just think about a lot of bad decisions and different things. And so, however, y'all, the Trubisky people that are for Trubisky versus the Trubisky haters, there's like this big old whirlwind going on between the Trubisky haters and the Trubisky people that are for Trubisky. And I'm a Trubisky hater. I'm a proud Trubisky hater right now because I need consistency.
Rightfully
and so. With that being said, first though, I want to get y'all thoughts on the win against the Lions. And just curious, can Trubisky keep this up? And can the Bears keep this up? Jamar, let's go with you.
All right. So as far as, the two different sides here, I guess it's just more so that, everybody got the same common goal. They just want the Bears to win. So,
right.
So I mean, I'm not going to lie. He showed up, I guess, when it counted. He did. He definitely was the complete opposite of Pandemic 13 that we mentioned a few seconds ago. No, it was impressive. Like, the one thing that I've noticed in that first game that he didn't really do the previous year was go through his progressions and actually didn't look rattled. He, like, in the first three quarters, I mean, I know the offense wasn't really there, but he definitely didn't look as bad as last time I seen him. And I actually saw him go through his progressions and actually trying to make the right pass.
Right.
And so I guess it just finally clicked. And no, he looked good. I'm hoping this easy schedule in the beginning can give him confidence that he needs to actually, continue to do the things that we saw him do in that fourth quarter.
Right.
We just basically, if we're going to be successful, he needs to, progress and actually have a lot of shades of the quarterback that we saw 2 years ago. Either way, whoever the quarterback of the Bears is, I'm tired of losing. I'm just ready to win. Just move the chains, keep our defense off the field until we actually need them. I don't need them being on the field 45 minutes a game.
Right. True. Very, very true. Very good point, man. Deshaun, your thoughts?
I think you guys, finally, and again, I know both of you guys are diehard Bears fans, man, and you're basically sick of like this losing. Everyone is, really. I have nothing against the Bears. I'm right. I'm right.
Deshaun, y'all, by the way, Deshaun is not really a Bears fan. Deshaun is a Steelers fan, right?
Absolutely.
That's
Steelers
right.
Nation, here we go. But anyway, the Chicago Bears in quarters 3 and 4, they look pretty good. We all know what they can do up on the defensive side of the ball. Like make no mistake about it, that is still a top 5 defense inside this league. But up on the offensive side, Trubisky needs to assert his dominance. Just like you said, Jamar, from a couple years ago, he showed flashes like, man, he will straight up air that thing out. One thing that I would like to see from Trubisky is to, insert his dominance. Like, feel that I'm the guy. Like, know that you're the guy. They brought Nick Foles in, honestly, to say, like, hey, buddy, your job is technically on the line here. We're doing this to, like, push you. All in all, right. I think they already knew that Trubisky was their guy from the start. They brought in a little bit more insurance and Foles, but hey, I'm tipping my hat to Mitch for winning this one for the Bears. Was it a fluke? Who knows? If DeAndre Swift would have made that catch, will we be still having the same conversation? All in all, Trubisky looked pretty good though.
Real quick point about that before you go. I look at it like this. Lions should have never been in that position to begin with. They the ones that gave us a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter. So that's all them.
And again, I cannot blame you for thinking that way. And that's just the product of how good you guys' like defense can be once the tough gets going. And trust me, I wouldn't want to be up on the opposite side of the field when I'm playing that defense.
Yeah, man. Bears defense got playmakers. They got Pro Bowlers on each level, and that's important. With Roquan Smith, who made the Pro Bowl as a rookie last year, with Khalil Mack, of course. That's all pro. Akeem Hicks, he showed up big in the final moments of that game. Shout out to Akeem Hicks. And then Kyle Fuller and Eddie Jackson, ballers. Kyle Fuller, man, that man, he keep it up. He gonna be in the Hall of Fame one day, Kyle Fuller. He made a big play, man. So I think we got a potential Hall of Fame in Kyle Fuller. I really do. And so defense showed up. Trubisky, man, yeah, we just need to see more consistency. And we need to see it against big games, like big teams. And so, no, as a Bears fan, me, Deshaun, or Jamar, or anybody watching this podcast, we are not finna get too happy because you beat the goddamn Detroit Lions. It's the Detroit Lions. It's not the Green Bay Packers. Show me against Green Bay. Show me against Aaron Rodgers. Then I'll come a believer. Show me against the teams that really matters. And when you do that, then I'll become a believer. All these true Bears fan zone people want to continue to take shout outs at Trubisky haters and say this and say that. Y'all can do that all you want. I'm just not dumb and I'm not a fool. And I'm not going to sit there and get overly excited because you beat a choking franchise, a franchise that's anemic to success, a franchise that's anemic to winning, who is used to having brown bags over their head at Detroit Lions games by week 5 because they're generally 0-4 and on their way to being 1-14, 1-15, or 0-16. We are not happy about beating the Detroit team. We want to see it against the big teams. We want to see it against our ultimate rival, which is the Packers. We want to see it against Tom Brady in week 5 against the Bucs. We want to see it then. Until then, miss me with it. Bears, y'all about to take advantage of this week's schedule. With that being said, however, Ryan Clark, y'all, he predicted that Saquon Barkley will have over 200 all-purpose yards and over 100-some rushing yards against the Bears. So from a fantasy perspective, did y'all pick Saquon Barkley? Did y'all pick Saquon Barkley against the Bears? Because I'm laughing because Saquon Barkley's like great, but then the Bears defense is great. And so I don't know. What do you do in that case?
Let me take this one here, Jamar, real quick.
it.
So, okay, Saquon is one of those names that no matter who he plays, you're gonna have to play him. And I'm just strictly speaking from a fantasy perspective. But what the Chicago Bears should do is follow the same blueprint that we did. We bottled Saquon up. Saquon looked like a third string running back versus that Steelers defense. Like they performed well. Like I don't even think he had over 10 yards like rushing. Like I would have to like check that stat or something like that.
Had more rushing yards than Saquon that game.
Yeah, so it's if I were the Chicago Bears, I would look back and at some game film, see the things that the Steelers did right. Mimic some of that stuff and make it your own. But again, strictly speaking from a fantasy perspective here, you would have to play Saquon Barkley just because of his name. Yeah, it is a stellar defense, but that's a guy you don't want to take out of your lineup.
Yeah, because he is an elite fantasy running back, so you have to put him in a lineup. I mean, it's going to be tough matches, but normally the elite players will still find a way to be productive somehow, some way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the rushing yards may not be there. Maybe the game script would be like, the Bears are up and they have to like check down to him a lot. That's where he probably get his fantasy points from. But yeah, it is a tough matchup against Barkley. And no, I do not think he'll have 200 yards, all-purpose yards.
All-purpose.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No way.
All right. Yes, and thank y'all for responding to Ryan Clark. At Ryan Clark on Twitter. Y'all know who Ryan Clark is, a former Pittsburgh Steeler. And so, with that being said, fellas, let's get into some picks. So let's now go ahead and let's start with the Bears and the Giants. We got the Giants coming up to Soldier Field, and they will be tipping off at noon tomorrow. Who do y'all got? Deshaun, let's begin with you. Who do you got, Bears and Giants?
Okay, first I want to say, the Giants are an up-and-coming football team. They got some really good talent up on that team. Again, I like Danny Dimes. I like what they're doing with that offense, but that defense is just horrific. It is downright terrible. So I got the Bears winning in this one. I would say the Bears 27, Giants 24.
Okay. All right. I will second that. I will pick the Bears tomorrow. I feel, as I told Jamar, the Bears, I feel, got a bit of a advantage in these first 4 games. They don't have the strongest schedule, so hopefully they can take advantage, especially being at their home opener tomorrow. I hope the Bears come out fired up and take care of business against a team that I think is on their way. Now, this is a dangerous game, though, y'all. Y'all know it's a dangerous game because this kid, Daniel Jones, can play. And he is a very good ball player. And him and Saquon Barkley got bright futures. And they will lead this franchise to eventually being on top of the NFC East, especially with the Cowboys and how they always have talent and show.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah, anyhow. So, yeah. With that being said, I will pick the Bears. I think Trubisky will use this game as a tune-up. I hope he does, and win. But as stated, I wouldn't be surprised. I just wouldn't be surprised if Trubisky goes out and throw 3 interceptions. I wouldn't be surprised. So, but I will pick the Bears because I think the defense will make the right plays to get this game closed out, and hopefully, our Cal Montgomery can take some slack off Trubisky, and we can get a good running game going tomorrow. Jamar.
And so if Trubisky ends up throwing 3 picks against this team, then I feel like you might as well go ahead and put in Nick Foles because the Giants secondary is just beyond shot right now.
It really is.
Okay.
So, with that being said, Bear down here. I'm going for the trifecta. Bears winning. I think they can win by 10 here, 24-14. I'm not counting out the Giants offense because if they have some pass protection, then that team can actually, put up some pretty good offensive numbers there. This is one of those games where our defensive pass rush needs to take advantage of that weak O-line and get after Daniel Jones for sure. And then really quick, just a slight pivot here. That Browns-Bengals game, I know the Browns won, but just want to give a shout-out to Joe Burrow because I feel like Cincinnati got him a real quarterback going forward. In my opinion, he's already better than Baker Mayfield. It only took me 2 games to figure that out.
Yes, and so
Facts.
with that being said, Jamar, thank you for that because that is one thing that we had on this. We were going to talk about the Browns and Bengals. And so with that being said, I quickly want you guys' thoughts as well on the Browns and Bengals. I can start off as well and just state that I feel that the Browns, they've had a nice, at least for a week, they've shut critics up. At least for a week, the Browns have shut critics up. They played a complete football game. They did the best they could with this kid, Joe Burrow. He looks like a seasonal vet out there. He didn't make any mistakes. He got first downs. He took what the defense gave him, and he played a very good game. This kid looks like he will have a very, very bright future in the NFL. And so, Deshaun, what do you think about this kid, Joe Burrow? What is his ceiling, man? Because this kid looks like he's the real deal for real.
Honestly, if the Bengals can shore up that O-line, man, honestly, sky's the limit. And this is speaking from a Steelers fan. I know that division very, very well. And one word I would like to use for Joe Burrow's performance is poise, because he looked great out there. He'll come in and, like you said, he takes what the defense gives him. He doesn't try to make something out of nothing, basically. And he'll go in, throw a touchdown pass, and he's a cool customer. He sits on the bench. He looks at the little screen and sees what he needs to do. Runs through his reads. He just looks like he's a man, like he's 3 years in or something like that. He just looks pretty good. I think the Bengals got them one. I would like to see him shore up that line to protect that investment. But from like a 2-game span, he's looking like a franchise quarterback.
He is definitely looking like a franchise quarterback. This kid was out there, like you stated, man. He was poised, and he played a phenomenal game. And another blueprint. So when I thought about the Bears and the running game with Cal Montgomery, we noticed the same thing that happened with the Browns. So Nick Chubb and what's the second? Yes, Kareem Hunt. Those guys had a ball game. They ran well for over 200 plus rushing yards. Took a lot of pressure off Baker Mayfield, and didn't allow him to throw the ball, which could possibly lead to mistakes. And so the Browns, man, I like this team, y'all. I like this team for this season. I like the Steelers. I like the Ravens. That will be y'all got some work in that division, Deshaun.
Definitely.
I think if the Browns can start clicking on all cylinders and use the talent that they have and just mesh it together, man, they could be extremely dangerous because of all the talent that they have. And so I like this team to be a pretty decent football team this year and possibly make a really nice run at that wild card. Not make a run, but possibly pull out a wild card between them and the Steelers, in which, that division, obviously, I think is going to be one of the more competitive divisions. And I don't think playing against Joe Burrow will be a walk in the park either. I don't think that'll be a walk in the park either. So I think that's a very competitive division. And, we'll see what happens with the AFC North. And so, yeah, that was our little break from making picks for week 2. We have all agreed that the Bears will come out victorious tomorrow. But now let's talk about the Rams and Eagles. How about those Eagles? Every time you seem to believe in them, they always disappoint, especially Carson Wentz. Amazing. They go up against the Rams tomorrow. So, Jamar, let's start with your pick for the Rams Eagles. Who you got?
Yeah, Eagles, that last week was very disappointing. Like, I feel like they was the more superior team last week, and they ended up giving 27 unanswered points to the Washington football team.
Right.
So I like the Rams in this one. I give them a slight edge, probably win by 3 there. I feel like the Eagles offense isn't as strong as it should be right now. I know Miles Sanders coming back. That helps, but I just like the way the Rams are playing at this moment. So I'm going to take the Rams on the road here.
Okay. Sean?
All right, I am going to go against you here, my friend. I'm going to take the Eagles. So, man, just one thing I got to mention real quick. I saw something up on like the internet, and like they said that all the games that the Washington football team was going to lose, and that I mean it was crazy. No one really predicted this one. So
At all.
I want to say to the Eagles, really, you lost to a team that doesn't even have a name, and you were up 17 points against the
Yeah.
Washington football team. But I'm gonna take the Eagles here. Miles Sanders is back. I think that adds like an extra element so Carson Wentz doesn't have to throw the ball 50 times in order for them to win. Lane Johnson is back as well, shores up that O-line, and we know what they can do defensively up front. Secondary is still a little bit shaky, but give me the Eagles in this one.
All right. Yes. Deshaun, I'm going to side with you. I like the Rams. I really do. And they are, a great football team. And I think they'll be a very tough, they'll be a tough cookie as well in that tough NFC West, because I think the NFC West is another very tough division. But I like the Eagles to bounce back. This game could go two ways. The Rams could blow them clearly out, or the Eagles, I think, can have a big fourth quarter and pull out a late game victory with a field goal here. So I think the second scenario will happen, and the Eagles will have a big game. Deshaun Jackson will be able to stretch that defense, make some big plays, and the Eagles should hopefully take advantage of their home field and pull out a tight game tomorrow, 23-20. I'll start us off with the pick, y'all, with the Falcons and Cowboys. And how about those Cowboys? Another team that all the talent in the world and just find ways to disappoint. And so I was in belief last week. I picked the Cowboys to beat the Rams. I thought that the Cowboys would come out clicking on all cylinders, but it's just like with the Cowboys, they're just the Cowboys. And so as a result, y'all, I'm going to take the Falcons in this game. I'm going to take the Falcons to go into the Big D and get some media crap started this week. Oh, my goodness. Stephen A. Smith and everybody's going to have a ball come Monday because the Cowboys will find a way to choke this game against the Atlanta Falcons. And don't y'all sleep on the Atlanta Falcons. Julio Jones and Matt Ryan, they can pass that rock. And Matt Ryan had, I think, 459 passing yards last week. He turns the ball over and maybe make a few mistakes, but he puts up numbers. And so I like him to put up numbers against this Cowboys defense, who I think needs time to gel. And so I'm going to pick the Falcons in a big, big upset. Maybe y'all disagree, of course, but I like the Falcons in a big upset. So, Deshaun, who do you got for this Falcons and Cowboys?
Star-studded affair here, man. Offensively, anyway, you got just wide receivers on wide receivers between the both of them. Got pretty good backfields here. And I can see exactly why you picked this one as like an upset. Falcons got they have the players, they have the personnel to be able to get this one done. But I'm going to say, since they are on the road, slight edge to the Cowboys. I say the Cowboys pull it out by a hair, man, by a field goal, maybe. But, yeah, give me the Cowboys by 3.
Okay.
All right. This game here is definitely fantasy football friendly.
Yes.
It's just because it's going to be a high-scoring affair. And Brandon, I'm actually going to side with you on this one. I feel like the Atlanta Falcons are going to come in this game with a bigger chip on their shoulders here, because I'm pretty sure they did not predict the result of how they lost that game last week. Cowboys, I mean, just like Stephen A. would say, accident waiting to happen there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got the Falcons in this one. I got 35-31.
All right, so let's now go ahead with the Panthers and Bucks. Deshaun, let's start us out with the Panthers and Bucks. And so as we know, Tom Brady had a rough outing last week, throwing 2 interceptions against the New Orleans Saints. Untypical, very untypical Tom Brady. Bruce Arians cussing everybody out as he usually does. And so just curious, man, the Panthers, you know, they supposedly got the best running back in football. So, you know, always love making fun of the Panthers because somehow, some way, their running back tends to get 99 ratings in Madden. I remember you talked about that, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just curious, man. Will Christian McCaffrey have 200 rushing yards like Madden says he will, and all the other McCaffrey fans just because he's a white guy? Or will the Buccaneers bounce back tomorrow with Tom Brady and all that talent they got over there?
I'm liking the Bucs to bounce back in this one. Again, look, Tom Brady is what, 42 years old or something like
43,
that.
man.
How old?
43.
43. Oh my gosh, man. So look, this is an older, deteriorating like GOAT, though. Okay, make no mistake about it. I'm not knocking Tom Brady, but he does have like a lot of talent. He just really got here, just getting acclimated to these guys. I say the Bucs pull away with this one, maybe by like 10 points. Panthers don't have enough just yet to be able to compete with the level of firepower the Buccaneers have here. So give me the Bucs by 10.
All right.
All right, so I feel like it's about to be a homecoming welcome for Brady and the Buccaneers. It's about to be an offensive explosion. The Panthers' defense is just absolutely trash. I mean, they allowed Josh Jacobs to have 3 rushing touchdowns against them and over 30 points allowed. Buccaneers' offense is better than the Raiders. Panthers definitely going to be playing from behind. I got a 38-17 game. Bucs.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, y'all got some big spreads here, man. For me, I'm gonna go with the Bucs as well. I think this game will be a boring game. And it won't be as I don't think it'll be a big explosion like that. I see the game being the 20s versus the teens. The Bucs are getting 24, the Panthers getting 17.
Same.
The Panthers, they are not exactly there yet. They need more time, more chemistry together. They'll fight hard, and the Buccaneers will at times look like what the hell is going on in this game. And so, you know, I like the Bucs. No, I don't like the Bucs 24-17. I like them 27-17, just because they'll be at home with those Pirates. So, yeah, I'll take the Bucs. All right, 49ers Jets. 49ers last week. Yeah, you know, a choke job pretty much for the 49ers. They should have had that game last week. And the Jets were pretty much the usual Jets, as we expect. Deshaun, let's start out with you for this again. Who do you got, the Niners or Jets?
I'm going Niners, and I'm going to go Niners like big in this one. Jets, I believe, are again without Le'Veon Bell, and they also will be without Jamison Crowder in this game, if I'm not mistaken. Right. So I'm not sure where the offense is going to come from. Again, 49ers will run it down their throat, control the pace of this game. I got 49ers made, like I'll say 37-10.
Whew.
Big one.
Yeah.
Wow, Deshaun and Jamar, man, these guys got a fantasy podcast. What is the name of that podcast, fellas?
It is Destination Fantasy, the Destination Fantasy.
And how can we find that?
Oh man, we're over every platform right now. We even just recently added Snapchat. We answer any questions, especially on game day. We also have a podcast that's gonna air again tomorrow, and that is all up over every platform as well. It's including Apple. So yeah, man, all iTunes right. is there as well.
Yes, Destination Fantasy, everyone. Destination Fantasy. So these guys definitely know what they're talking about when it comes to the football. And so I'll second that pick. I will go with the Niners. I think the Niners will run it down their throat. The Jets, they're just not there yet. They have a lot more work to do. The Niners, they're hungry. They don't want to go 0-2, especially in the division that they're in. They need to take care of business. So they'll come out focused tomorrow. Jamar?
Yeah, so I am in agreement. More so, I feel like Raheem Mostert is going to have a great day tomorrow. There's no George Kittle, so We know you can pass against the Jets. We know you can run against the Jets. You know, the Jets don't have any offense. Jets don't have any weapons. Jets just out there with a bunch of 53 people that you found off the street right now. That's what they are. But with all that being said, yeah, the Niners definitely don't want to go 0-2 here. Niners will win this game. I don't know how big, though, but I can't imagine the Jets scoring more than 7 points in this game.
All right. Yeah, that sounds like a route to me. So with that being said, let's now make – and Jamar, you can start us off here as well. Well, you know what? No, let's start off Deshaun because this is Deshaun's heart right here, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yep. And so they're going up against Jake Locker and the and so I think this would be a good football game right here. Deshaun, can you give us your pick for the Broncos and Steelers?
Come on, you guys. Like let's make no mistake about it here. I am going with my Pittsburgh Steelers, and here's why. You know what? Like, let me start with the Broncos side. So the Broncos are a up and coming football team, very good, very talented. But the thing that we do well is rattle quarterbacks that haven't had much time on the football field. Like, that's just what we do. I think there's going to be turnovers in this game. Pittsburgh is at home. They generally – Ben Roethlisberger is a different animal when he's at home as opposed to being away. I say Big Ben has a great game against that pretty stout Broncos defense. I want to say Steelers 27, Broncos 20.
All right. I will side with you, Deshaun. I got the Steelers as well. I think the Steelers, y'all, this season, they got a lot to prove. They pissed off from last year. Even though they didn't have the team that they, or health, I would say. We knew if they had health, they would have made the playoffs. They would have made a deep run, I felt. At least made it to the second round, I felt, in my opinion. That's how Mike Tomlin and the Steelers do. And I think they are out for blood this year. They are out to prove a lot of people wrong for real. And so I like the Steelers as well. I like the Steelers in a butt kick in 24-14 and the Steelers to control the pace of the game. I like the Steelers to create turnovers. They additionally got Pro Bowlers at every level. You got Watt at the DN level. You got Fitzpatrick back there. You got great corners. And Hayden and those guys, they got names on the Steelers that can create plays and make plays at any time, big plays, game-changing plays. And so I like the Steelers to take this game and watch out for the Steelers this year. I think they'll be a very good football team. And so with that being said, Jamar, get a chance, man. Can you give us your pick for the Broncos and Steelers?
Yeah, so I'm rolling with the steel curtain on this one. Ever since they made that trade for Fitzpatrick in the middle of the season last year, their defense got locked back into their identity there.
Right.
Broncos, like you said, Deshaun, young, up and coming. I do like their offense going forward, but this here's a tough matchup. I got Steelers probably 28-17 in this one.
All right. Now let's go over to Nashville. Titans, they pulled out a last-minute field goal against the Denver Broncos to win that game last week. They got the Jaguars, who pulled off an upset last week. And so Jaguars, they got something to play for, y'all. We did not pick the Jaguars. And so this is for the division lead right here for the AFC South. It's about to go down, baby. Deshaun, who do you got, the Jags or the Titans?
I'm going to roll with the Titans here, but make no mistake about it. I can see the Jags actually pulling another upset. I get it. The Jags.
Really?
Yeah, man. Like I can really see it. Do I feel confident in saying that the Titans will win this football game by a lot? No, not at all. What I think that will happen, what will happen in this game is that Derrick Henry is going to run. He's going to run a lot. He's going to run so much that Ryan Tannehill's job will be so easy. He's going to create out of play action. I believe they are without wide receiver AJ Brown in this one, so that gives Corey Davis and Jonnu Smith a chance to become productive. So Titans and a close one in this one.
All right, Jamar, can you give us your pick, sir?
Yeah, I'm on the same boat here. I feel like this could be a Derrick Henry type game here. Titans offense is maybe a little limited in the pass catching department. Jaguars defense is pedestrian at best. Minshew Mania will have to go against a very interesting front four that includes Jadeveon Clowney now.
Tough.
I mean, this game is going to be pretty close, but I like the Titans probably 23-17.
Well, I'm going to have to side with you guys as well. I'm going to have to go with the Titans as well. And as we know, y'all, with division games, division teams know each other well. And so, no, this won't be a butt whooping. This won't be a blowout, I don't think. I think this will be a tight game. But we're going to find out tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will really find out who the Jaguars really are. I promise you. We'll find out if they are the real deal, or we'll find out if they're just a pedestrian team that lucked up and beat a team by luck in week one. So we'll find out a lot about the Jaguars. But, I'll go with the Titans as well. But I'll go with them in a tight game, 2017. On to the Lions and Packers. On to the Cheeseheads. They had a pretty good game last week against the Minnesota Vikings. And so, the Lions, of course, they were the usual Lions. These games are always close as well. And so, Jamar, who do you got, the Packers or Lions?
I guess I got to, go with the Pack on this one. Hurts my heart to say that. But, I mean, how it's just quick math here. Aaron Rodgers is greater than Matthew Stafford. The Packers as a team is greater than the Lions. The Packers are at home. Packers win. That's simple as that. Packers by.
I'm going to give y'all a quick pick as well. I'm going to go with the Packers as well. History says it. This would be a great upset if it occurred, but I don't see it happening with Aaron Rodgers. So I'm going to go with the Packers as well. Deshaun?
I'm gonna say the Pack as well. So we're all well. I'm not rooting for the Pack, but at the same time, I'm gonna take the Packers. Like 40-point explosion, I believe, or something like last week from them. You cannot see that coming. I'm quite sure that everyone who started Devontae Adams in that football game, they pretty much won week one. He was huge. He was phenomenal. And I think this one is going to be pretty much the same. It's going to be the Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones show in this one. So I got the Pack big.
All right. Yep. I got the Pack big as well. I'll start us off with the Bills and Dolphins. I actually got an upset here tomorrow, y'all.
Ooh.
I got yes. The Dolphins, they play hard. This team ain't a bad football team. They just got to learn how to win games. They young. They like kids right now. They got a bright future though. The Dolphins just need to learn how to win games. I like the Dolphins at home. I like the Dolphins in this heat. I like the Dolphins to force turnovers and make the Bills quarterback Jake Allen look like who I kind of think he is, which is at times a rattle turnover machine if you can get to him. But the Bills defense is great, man. Oh, jeez. But I'm going to have to go with the Dolphins, man, and a epic upset that will surprise a lot of people and wake people up to the Dolphins and just how dangerous and up and down they can be. They're a very up and down team. I like them to be up tomorrow. Jamar, can you give us your pick with the Bills and Dolphins?
I'm definitely going with the Bills here. I ain't gonna say it's gonna be a blowout because playing in Miami is a trap game for almost any team, especially a divisional opponent. I just like the Bills defense greater than the Miami Dolphins offense right now, and I'm pretty sure that's the deciding factor for me. So I got the Bills 2017 in this one.
Deshaun?
Oh man, I was almost tempted to take the Dolphins until I realized how good that Bills defense is. Honestly, if someone were to say that the Bills defense is the best in the league, they would definitely have a compelling argument there. So I am going to say the Bills get it done and the tight one again. Divisional matchups are usually pretty tight. And I believe this one is going to be no more than like a 10-point. I don't think the Bills are going to pull away. that much. But yeah, give me the Bills in this one.
All right. So the Vikings and the Colts, Jamar. And so I'll start this pick out. I like the Vikings to run this ball to control the clock. I like the Vikings defense to force some turnovers from Phillip Rivers. This will be a pretty close game. It won't be a blowout. But I like the Colts to get a rude awakening tomorrow. I think that they'll come out a little sluggish. The Vikings will come out with a lot to prove because they're another team that don't want to go on 2. And so I like the Vikings and 23-17 in this game. Jamar.
Yeah, so last week's matchup with the Vikings and Packers, I come to terms that game was more so about how bad the Vikings defense is as opposed to how good the Packers offense is. The Vikings defense is not who we thought they were. They are definitely a shell of themselves. They have rookie and inexperienced secondaries. That's how the Packers was able to dominate them through the air. And I honestly don't see any different in this game. I like the Colts in this one, honestly.
All right.
30-17 Colts.
30-17 by 2 touchdowns. Wow. Sean, who do you got, Vikings or Colts?
I'm gonna say the Vikings, and again, this one is like a slim one. Vikings are on the road. Colts are pretty good up and coming football team. I would like to say that the Vikings are pissed right now. They are pissed the way how like last week's game went. I think that they're gonna put the ball in Dalvin Cook's hands, control the tempo, and I believe the Vikings are gonna pull away with this one. Another tight game.
Yeah. All right. The Washington football team, they surprised everyone last week by beating the Eagles and scoring 27 unanswered points. And the Cardinals, football's a bunch to Sean. The folks like the Cardinals for some reason. They really like this Cardinals team. And so basically, just curious on your pick. I'm gonna give you my pick right now. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals in this one. I like the up and star Cardinals as well now after seeing them play against the Niners. They got heart, man.
Yes.
And Deshaun Hopkins, he is balling. He had a great game last week. And the Cardinals are at home. And I think that's an advantage to get Dwayne Haskins to throw a couple turnovers, throw a couple picks, get him a little rattled. And so I like the Cardinals in this game. Sean?
Oh man, Cardinals, God, there's something to watch, right? Kyler Murray has been phenomenal. This guy is gonna be, man, he's gonna be something to watch within like these next. I cannot wait to see this player grow. I can't wait to see this team grow. The addition of DeAndre Hopkins just turned him into like another level. He had an amazing game in his first game with the Cardinals. Man, this one is gonna be a wash. I say Cardinals 38, Washington football team 7.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Cardinals offense is a real thing. Don't be fooled by last week with the football team because I don't expect that 27 unanswered point explosion to happen against this game. This is going to be a rout. Probably 30-10, 33-10. It's a rout here.
All right. So we got a route look like for the Washington football team. Looks like they'll come back to reality tomorrow. A big one. The Ravens and Texans. Do Deshaun Watson want to go 0-2? Jamar, let's start off with your pick for this one.
I know I'm campaigning for the Watson MVP tour here, and I feel like his first 2 weeks, he has definitely went against 2 of the last MVPs in the league, and they're elite teams. And so,
yes, and you know,
yeah, sorry. This is a tough one here. I would hate to see Deshaun go down 0-2, but it is quite feasible. And with that being said, I am picking the reigning MVP and Lamar Jackson to pull off the win here. Close game, but I got it 24-23.
All right, Deshaun, let's get your pick, brother.
Man, you know what, guys? Football is a game of upsets, right? And I like to tend to look at like every football game individually, like what we're doing right now, and pick an upset. This week is mine, man. I like Deshaun Watson in this one at home. He had like a tough going with his team the first week, and again he just got this whole new football team that he's working with. But Ravens are up on the road. Great football team, man. They will be in the mix to hoist the Lombardi Trophy at the end of the year. But I want the Texans in this game, and I say close. Man, if I could say a score, say 30, man, I'll just take the Texans by 3. Texans by a field goal.
All right. Yeah, for me, I like the Texans at home as well. I think the Texans will come out with a chip on their shoulder. The Texans will have to be clicking on all cylinders. Really, a big part of me just want to go common sense and take the Ravens here. But I think this will be like a playoff game for the Texans tomorrow. They're going to come out ready to play as if it's like a playoff game because they don't want to go on 2 either. And so I think they'll come out fighting, man, and they'll pull off an upset, I think, and win a game, win this game by a field goal by 3. So I'll go Texas 23-20. And lastly, the Chiefs and the Chargers. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I got the Chiefs. And I got the Chiefs to do what the Chiefs do, and that's put up buckets or AKA put up points. And the Chiefs, they will be clicking on all cylinders. This kid, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think will have a big day tomorrow. I think we'll have a big day against this Chargers defense. And I like the Chargers to fold in the moment. I think that they'll be starstruck. I think that they'll, turn the ball over quite often. Tyrod Taylor, he's a very smart football player. And he doesn't turn the ball over. So with that being said, Jamar, let's get your pick.
Yeah, so I'm going with the Los. No, I'm playing. Chiefs all day, all day.
You had me there for a minute, man. That was a
good one. This is a route. Chargers offense is not the same. They're more of a conservative front right now. Their defense isn't the same either right now, even though they still have playmakers on their defense. But Kansas City just got too many weapons and too many options and too many avenues to victory here. So I got Kansas City by at least 3 touchdowns. I don't know the score, but they scoring 3 plus on them.
All right.
So, man, the same reason, Jamar. Too many playmakers, too much talent. They got the richest man in football right now in Patrick Mahomes. This guy's just going to have an amazing day. And you mentioned, Brandon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's going to be huge in this one as well. Chiefs route.
All right. Yeah, that was pretty quick. You gotta be you gotta really, really, really be able to dissect football and so many like dissectomies if you actually see the Chargers beating the Chiefs tomorrow. Can't see it. I can't.
Right.
No mathematically way possible I can see that happening. So as stated, I'm gonna agree with you guys. Go with the Chiefs. And so guys, before we close out, let's get some quick thoughts on the White Sox. Congrats to the Sox. The White Sox, they have clinched the playoff berth since first playoff berth since 2008. Southside, stand up. Yes, the Sox are in the playoffs, and not only are they in the playoffs, y'all, but they actually have the possibility of controlling their destiny to get home field for the AL and possibly throughout the entire playoffs. That's how good the Sox have been playing lately. They are on a steamroll right now. And so just curious, guys, can this White Sox team, y'all, can they make a run at the World Series? Sean, let's begin with you.
Man, first I want to say, big shout out. I mean, big shout out to Southside, baby. Like, we out here. So, everything is looking good for this baseball team, man. It's clicking on all cylinders, man. Offense, the bats look phenomenal. Pitching is great. Oh my God, like steaming, bro. Steaming.
Mm-hmm.
And, defense even looks good, man. And front runner to win the AL MVP should definitely be Jose Abreu. No questions asked, man. This guy has been phenomenal. We have it. Like, I mean, we getting remnants of, when we won the
05 World Series.
Oh my God, man! Like this team looks so similar. So I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but man, big things are coming, and God, I'm happy to be a Sox fan today.
Yes, sir, definitely. Jamar, give it to us.
Yes. Hey, so remember after the first week of the season, and we was asking ourselves, should we hit the panic button yet?
Yeah, I remember that because I was.
And ever since then, they gotten their act together.
Yep.
And it's been full steam ahead. Like the bats are hitting, and I have coworkers that say like, it's gonna slow down shortly. Here's the thing, in my opinion. See, if this was the regular 162 game season, I can see it. But this is a prime 60 game season, then we right into the playoffs. So this,
right.
I don't see it fizzling out. It's too many guys that are hitting the ball too well. The pitching is under control. The guys, like, they are learning how to win in front of our eyes. They are growing up in front of our eyes. It's been a beautiful thing. And then, we was definitely worried about our big two division like opponents between the Indians and the Twins.
And don't get me wrong, they still on their back. They
are, but we are holding our own against them. We are handling business. Not saying that they can't catch up or anything, but to have a 3-game lead right now against Minnesota and a 5-game lead with Cleveland, we only got 9 games left. Like that says a lot. 60 games to 162 games, like that says a lot. Yeah, and we were half game back from Tampa Bay from the number 1 seed. So, yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I just, I want to see it. I know pitching was the main reason why we won in 05. I mean, it might be the bats this time, but just that energy, that tenacity, that hunger, it is theirs. It is there like that team. So I'm all for it.
Yes, sir. So the Sox, man, that ship is definitely heading in the right direction. And so kudos. 9 games to go, Sox. That's finished strong. Remember, baseball is a game of momentum. So at this point, remember, you got to finish strong because generally the teams, as we know, Deshaun and Jamar in baseball, the teams that finish strong are usually the teams that are strongest in the playoffs. And so let's keep the mojo going. Let's not take our foot off the gas and not be like the Cubs have been in the past. Sorry, Cubs fans. And so, yeah, with that being said, fellas, that concludes our conversation this morning for the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. Guys, as we head into this weekend, I just want some thoughts, any final thoughts from you guys. And so, Deshaun, if you could, man, can you give us any final thoughts as we head into this weekend?
Man, only thing that I would like to say is, man, you heard it here first. If, this Lac Rivers thing goes like global, it started here first, man. That was freaking hilarious, bro. With that being said, it's people go out and be safe. You know what I mean? This pandemic is still going on, making sure, that you're abiding by all the rules and regulations that are, going on out there. But it's good football, good basketball, good baseball going on right now. So enjoy it.
Yes, sir. Facts. Yes. Jamar, any final thoughts, bro, as we head into the weekend?
Well, just continue to, try and enjoy this weather because it's definitely about to hit official hoodie season here,
Hey.
It's already hit it for me.
But yeah, no, you're right. But just overall, just continue to be safe. Keep the violence low. Just make good decisions. Be fair. That's all.
Yeah, man. I'm with y'all, fellas, man. I second that, or triple that. Like, put the guns down, man. Be safe, man. Be smart. Spare a life. And that means sparing a life through less violence. You know, through less hostility. As we mentioned earlier, Deshaun, thank you for that, man. You know, in regards to how we began our segment this morning, to showing us how we approach the police and how we should approach them with less hostility. And let's do that within police interactions. Let's do that in society as a whole. Let's try to practice that this weekend. Additionally, you know, I stated put the guns down and you know save a life. Put on your mask, man. It's not about the young people that's being healthy. It's about someone that might not be as healthy as you. And so, you know, you putting on your mask, you know, it actually saves somebody else's life that,
Absolutely.
you know, might not be able to have the same health as you. And so, yeah, spare life, man. That's all I really got to say. And so, with that, yeah, that concludes our session this morning for September 19th, 2020 on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. We appreciate everyone tuning in. We appreciate the viewers. We appreciate the insight from brothers like Victor Young, from brothers like Mitchell Williams, from folks saying hi, saying what's up to us. We appreciate the love, y'all. We truly, truly do. And so, yeah, everyone have a blessed day. Be safe. Have a great weekend. And we will see you guys next weekend.
Peace out.
Have a good one, y'all.